So I started this series on my channel where I test out graphics cards against the most demanding titles, but I also wanted to do another series, which is what we'll be doing in starting today for the first episode, where we test out graphics cards against the most popular free games. Now, it's not gonna be the most popular free games of all time because those are all gonna be pretty much the same. It'll be Fortnite, Roblox, probably Counter-Strike 2. Like, I'm gonna try out the most popular games that are most popular right now and see how some of these graphics cards kind of hold up against those games. So for this video, we're gonna be trying out the RTX 3060 Ti. This is a very small, light card. It's a gigabyte card. It's been a lot of fun. I tried it out on the most demanding games and it handled them really well. So today, we're gonna be trying out what I found to be some of the most popular games on Steam, and then Epic, and pretty much all of these games I've never played before. So I'm gonna read them off to you because I would not have remembered them. So of course I'm going to test Fortnite because it's probably just the most demanded, asked for, thought about game out there. But the rest of these, I don't know. I've kind of vaguely heard of some of them. So we're gonna test out Bongo Cat. That was actually number 2 on Steam. War Thunder, I think that was number 3. Where Wind Meets, which I think was on Epic Games, which was one of the most popular games there. And then Delta Force, which was like number 4 or 5 on Steam. So we're gonna give it a go on the 3060 Ti and try out these free games because I know there's a big market that, you know, when you buy these graphics cards, there's not a whole lot of money to go out and spend $70 or $50 or whatever it might be on the most not most popular, but the most expensive AAA titles out there. And you can still get a lot of great gaming out of most of the free games in the market. Well, most is probably generous, but a lot of those games are probably pretty solid. So in this series, what I'm gonna do is just take different graphics cards and have them be tried out on those free games so that if you're on that graphics card or you're thinking about going to it, you might wanna know, can I play those games that are free? Because maybe you've spent all of your budget, you know, you had a $750 budget to build a PC. The 3060 Ti fit perfectly into that, but now you can't afford other games. But if you can afford the free ones, which you know, everybody can. At that point, you would know that you could play games you're going to enjoy and you built a PC that's worth your time. Otherwise, if none of these free games are running well or interesting to you, you know, you might have to scale back the budget a little bit, get a little less power, and then pay $70 for whatever game you might be interested in playing. So to give the most realistic picture that someone like me can think of in this scenario, I always try to test things out on multiple products because it gives us a broader understanding of it. So I'm testing out on 2 different CPUs behind me, and the first one is a Ryzen 5 3600. Now this is probably a more realistic pairing with the 3060 Ti. This is an AM4 DDR4 build. The second pairing is going to be a Ryzen 5 9600X. That's on AM5, it's a little newer, but I have seen a lot of PCs, especially like on Marketplace, that have the AM5 builds with 3060 Ti. So it is still a relatively relative card in the PC building space. So we're gonna start out with the Ryzen 5 3600, and then we will go through all the games. I will have a graph showing you how well each one performed. And I do imagine games like Bongo Cat, it's gonna be completely irrelevant. It's mostly just because it's popular and it should run. At least I could be a fool stating that, and maybe it's really demanding, but it was like 512 megabytes when I downloaded it. So, but the rest, we will have like reputable numbers to compare when we're done here with the 3600. We will then get the graphs for the 9600X to just kind of compare if you're on, you know, this generation of CPU or this generation, and you're gonna get a 3060 Ti, how well is it gonna perform? So let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay. So you guys are probably laughing like crazy in the comments because, again, good old doofus me, I have Bongo Cat loaded up, and apparently all it is just this cat on your screen that just beats on a bongo. So that being said, we're probably not going to benchmark that game, but I'm going to keep it in there because I think it's funny and some of you guys are going to be laughing like crazy. So we're going to swap to Fortnite. This is the 3600 with the 3060 Ti. We'll try out Fortnite just because that is the most popular, most demanding free game probably of all time. Maybe behind Roblox. I'm not sure which one. But let's load that up and then we'll get into the other games. Okay, so now that we've all had a really good laugh at how ridiculous and silly I am, we are in an actual game here on the Ryzen 5 3600. Also, some of you guys requested that I change this name, so I tried to do that. I tried to do the frame time graph, and it was like too big here, so at some point I'll try to figure that out as well. I had this on different settings, and it recorded really poorly, so I'll run through these with you guys really fast. I am having to go on performance mode, and then I had to drop things down pretty low. I tried to do like pretty much everything low, view distance epic. Let's go ahead and start the test here. It was really laggy, really unplayable. So now we're gonna kind of get a feel. I have always said this, I played Fortnite a lot. I probably have like 700 wins or something ridiculous like that. I'm terrible now because I haven't played the game in like 2 years, maybe 3 years at this point, honestly. It is one of the worst optimized, best optimized games ever. And I will stand by that for the eternity of time. So yeah, this now it feels relatively playable. What I was on before felt really, really bad. So I think we are probably more limited by our 3600 than we are with 3060 Ti. At least that's what I'm choosing to believe. Oh, person. All right, not bad, you guys. That was pretty responsive. Yeah, this feels pretty good. I definitely think I could game on this. Okay, I'm digging it. It does make me miss Fortnite a little bit. I feel like I should let this guy win. I don't think he's won a lot of games before. Oh well. Okay, so super enjoyable performance. I played way too long. Let's go and swap to the next game. I think we're gonna do War Thunder now. All right, you guys, so we are in War Thunder. I've literally never played this game, and I should let you know beforehand if you haven't either. Whenever you start the game, it asks you like to run a GPU test, and then it recommends what's best settings for you. There's a movie setting, max FPS or 60 FPS. I picked the movie setting, so it's supposed to look pretty good. So I'll show you the graphics that it automatically put me on. I'm not gonna change anything. And I'm in the tutorial because I've never played, don't know what I'm doing. So this is a 1440p monitor. I probably should have said that at the beginning. So we have it on movie, high, very high, high, very high, high. I really can't tell you much of what any of this is. So we're just gonna play a little bit. You're gonna go with me here to see how some of this is played. Apparently this is really like I said, this is all brand new to me, but it's running super well. I have no clue. I have no clue if it runs significantly better or worse. Oh, okay, I felt a stutter there. I'm sure this gets pretty intense, and you guys that have played this a lot. It is keeping our GPU max though, so I mean, I guess that's nice. I shoot at that guy? What team am I on? Am I on the blue team or the red team? Oh, okay. I take it back. This is kind of hard. Oh, I'm terrible. Oh, I'm going upside down. What is happening? Oh, geez. All right, that's probably enough of this game. I'll go ahead and stop the test and we'll swap over to Delta Force. All right, so now we have Delta Force loaded up. Again, I have never played these games before. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm in a death match. What are we on here? Settings, graphics, borderless windowed. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it on whatever it says. I will put on limited frame rate though. VSync is off, field of view. Wow, ultra? This game thinks we can run ultra. Let's try this out. Like I said, never played this game in my life. Okay. Seems pretty cool though. Has pretty solid graphics. It does have a lean, cool. Kind of feels like a Rainbow Six Siege lead. Oh, okay. There was some lag. Kind of feels like a Rainbow Six Siege lean. I never played the game, but I've seen it enough. This seems like it runs pretty well. We did have that dip. I'd be curious if you were playing like maybe ops instead of just like a team deathmatch. Okay, so it doesn't seem as lively as I expected, or maybe I just have really bad MMR. But for having as many people on here as it claimed on Steam, you would assume that it has a much bigger player base. Yeah, they're pretty good in this. It feels like there's probably a high skill ceiling. I would be interested in seeing like the other modes that aren't team deathmatch if there's a lot larger player base, but that feels good. Let's go ahead and call it there. Let's swap over to Where Winds Meet. Again, haven't played it. Okay, you guys, so I'm in the tutorial for Where Wind Meets, and first of all, the game looks amazing. It won't let me check the graphics, so I figured I would just start playing it for you. Dang, because it looks really, 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 really cool. The intro cinematic was amazing. Wow, this looks so cool. It's literally just non-stop action, and I can't seem to get out of any of it, but it looks really good. So I'm gonna at least tell you guys that, like, it looks amazing. And it is clearly pushing our GPU up there to the limit. Okay, we finally have made it through all of the tutorials, and the first thing I want to say now that we're past this is I can't believe this game is free. The graphic quality, the storytelling, like I haven't been paying super deep attention to it, but the graphic quality and the storytelling seems like it's amazing. It probably would have lasted like 20, 30 minutes if I had sat down and did it all properly, maybe longer. But I do want to see the settings that it's defaulted us to because I am really curious. Play, is that what it is? Where wind meets. I don't even know what that means. Quality, high, medium, low. I just want to walk around for a second. The game feels really smooth. It looks incredible. I think I saw something about this a while back, but I never really pay attention to things. So I feel like that's probably enough. I'm really curious to see how it runs on the 9600X, but of all of the games I've loaded up today, this seems like it has most promise. And I don't play these kinds of games because I'm not really a big story mode person, but this seems like it'd be really cool. So if you haven't checked this out, it seems like it runs on this 3060 Ti and 3600, so definitely would recommend it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the chart, and then we're gonna swap over to the 9600X. All right, guys, so here we have the chart of the Ryzen 5 3600 with the 3060 Ti. So we'll take a look at where winds meet first. So our max FPS was all the way up to 167. Our average was 81. We had a low of 8.8. Delta Force, that was the FPS shooter. We had a max of 185, an average of 114, which was pretty playable. There was a moment or two where it stuttered kind of hard. We saw that. War Thunder was a very, very, very playable experience on this setup. I really don't know what it's supposed to run on or the recommended settings. The low was 122, so 122 by itself was playable, but the average was 192. So very playable game. Fortnite, we didn't really drop as far as I expected it to, 90, average was 181. So this is the 3600. We're gonna go ahead and swap over to the 9600X, play through all the games, and then we'll compare the two just to see like if the CPU is better or worse, or if you're fine on a 3600. All right, you guys, now we have the 9600X loaded up. We are in Spider-Man. I will show you that we are on the same settings, full screen, 1440p, performance. I think everything was epic, otherwise it's low. I am not gonna play for a dub on this one. I'm literally just gonna jump out, try and get in some fights, probably get killed because that was a long time to benchmark this. I always say this about Fortnite. I think it is the worst optimized, best optimized game ever because sometimes it's amazing and sometimes it literally feels like you're on dial-up internet waiting for a picture that you wanted to draw from a Dragon Ball Z character 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago at this point, to load up on the internet. That might have been very specific, but that was kind of my childhood. Sitting around waiting on dial-up internet to open so I could draw Goku. And I guess it's kind of interesting because here we are 30 years later and you guys can see Goku's up there. My wife actually got me that for Christmas, so kind of cool. Ah, we got owned. Okay. Well, cool. That's enough for us to test this. Next, we're going to, what did I do next? Was it War Thunder? I think it was the plain one, yeah. All right, guys, now we have War Thunder loaded up here. I'll make sure we're on the same settings before we get in the game really quick. So still on 1440p, full screen. It's on the movie setting, so everything should be the same here. And once again, show you guys how bad I am at this game, but it does seem like it'd be a pretty cool game. It's probably not something that I would play a lot of, but the features and thought behind it are very interesting. So a little backstory as we're trying to get in here. My grandpa actually used to work at this store that sold like model airplanes, and that was way too loud. And they lived in a different state when we were growing up. So we would come visit them like during the summer and stuff. And my grandpa, not only did they have like model cars, model trains, that kind of stuff, he also had a simulator there. This was like before that kind of stuff was like mainstream on a computer and video games and things like that. I forget if it was like on a PC or what it was, but like it was specific to the shop and it was really cool. So it's like a really cool memory for me to be able to come back and see this kind of stuff. I think I got him, right? Get him! I'm having more fun than you guys probably are here. Okay, I'm about to crash. Okay, that's probably enough and embarrassing enough for me. So let's go ahead and call it there. We'll swap over to, what did I do next? Was it War Thunder? It was the shooter game, right? Yeah. I meant to say Delta Force, not War Thunder, because we were playing War Thunder. So here we are in Delta Force. I will go over the settings with you guys once we get into the game really quick. Apparently there are pre-shaders that need to load. Forgot about that. So still borderless windowed. I think that's what we were on before. Unlimited, yeah, in-frame, ultra. So everything is at ultra still. Wow, it still looks really good. I'm very surprised. There's like almost no players in this. Again, I'm really wondering if there's more action. I'm wondering if there's more action in like the ops mode and all that stuff, but I really don't know. But you can see like this game does dip every now and then, so that's probably good enough. I'll go ahead and call it here and we'll swap to the last game, which I actually am excited to see where winds meet because that game looked really good. So, all right, you guys, so we are on the 9600X. Don't know what happened there. And we are in where winds meet. Wow, the graphics look probably even better, but I think maybe we need to verify that it didn't try to up it too much. I think it was high, medium, high, all that kind of stuff. I don't even know what this means. What is visual style? I don't know. I assume that it's good though. I'm gonna run around, just play a little bit and try to figure out what I'm supposed to do. It looks so good. I can't believe this is a free game, you guys. Is it like, are there skins or something? How are they making money on this? I have to believe, oh, there was a stutter there. Okay. I'd have to imagine there's some kind of like pay or there's something because this looks like it'd be a AAA game to me. Wow, look at that. The visual quality is so high. Space jump. Shift. Aha. Boom, that was really cool looking. Yeah, this is really good. It's really responsive. This, I think, don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, I think these cinematics might be better than Crimson Desert cinematics. Okay, Crimson Desert probably has like these kinds of things. Like Crimson Desert definitely has it beat as far as like the textures of overall, but I think the things that they actually do, like these trees look way better. But I imagine it's probably a lot harder because like Crimson Desert is rendering in everything, whereas they got like this kind of stuff, they just left it. This feels really good. I would 100% play this game. Like if you're into story mode type game, single player, it looks really interesting. The graphics are amazing. From the very little that I skip over very quickly on the story, it seems interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look at both the benchmarks and figure out, you know, on a 3600 or a 9600X, how this 3060 Ti is pairing and, you know, playing these free play games. So, all right, you guys, so we have the final numbers here. So we can compare them. The blue is the 3600, the orange is the 9600X. So the average FPS on Fortnite almost doubled, you know, 30 FPS shy of doubling on the 9600X. So also you did get more than double on the max. And interestingly, the 1% low was actually lower. Something's wrong. I gotta update the BIOS or something on that. War Thunder, the average was almost identical, but the max was significantly higher on the 9600X and the 1% low is pretty similar. Delta Force, wow, 60 FPS higher. That's a lot. And a lot higher on the max. The 1% low, didn't seem to have any stutters there. Where winds meet average, so I think because of where I played and when I started benchmarking, this is a little skewed. So I wouldn't say that this number is extremely accurate just because there were moments like I was in a cinematic a lot more than here. I just played the game. So I wouldn't trust this all the way, but I would take a look at this number down here, the 1% low. You know, 54 is an indicator that it was handling better. So, all right, guys, that was a lot of fun to get to try out those games. Many of those, like I said, four of them, I guess, if you count good old, what is it, Bongo? But I don't have my sheet in front of me. Bongo Cat. I'm sure you guys are still probably laughing at that because I literally had no clue that that's all it was. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hopefully if you are in the market to purchase a 3060 Ti or you have a 3060 Ti and you were questioning, you know, can my card handle that? Like maybe you're almost out of storage or something like that, so you didn't know if you had to delete some space, get an extra hard drive or whatever it might be. For whatever reason, you know, the 3060 Ti handled all those games pretty well, and we did see some improvement if you had a stronger CPU, but that still didn't mean the 3600 didn't handle it pretty well. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed those games. If I were to play any of those or like pick one out that I would like 100% recommend out of that experience, probably would be Where Winds Meet or whatever it's called. I forgot most of them at this point already. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I did get a notification from Amazon today that the CPU cooler for the newsletter giveaway should be coming in today. So I'm really excited. I should be uploading that video tomorrow on Friday. You guys will finally get to see the fully built, fully functioning PC that we're going to give away on the newsletter subscriber paid version. So that should be coming out tomorrow, hopefully, is the plan, unless they change it up on me again. If you guys have enjoyed this content, be sure to check out some of my other videos. Like I mentioned, do have a newsletter. I'll update you on the upcoming content. It's free. There's a paid version where you can potentially win a PC too. Otherwise, as you guys go, be sure to check out some of these other videos, and I will catch you in the next one.